We are very pleased to welcome you here. And please,
It's a pleasure to be here working with you. And in this so beautiful hall, my artist just gave a performance here. We are very thankful to you and the audience also.
We are very grateful that you came so far way along from Lahore in Pakistan, which is one of the major cities for this kind of music.
Yes, it's a cultural center of Pakistan, actually.
Yeah, and first maybe we should give a little word about Qawwali. Maybe you can do it. Qawwal is the expression in Arab language for the word, or?
As far as the Qawwali music and the singing is concerned, it's a melodic expression of Islam. So the scholar, musician, composer who invented this, who started this, Hazrat Amir Khusro, from the 12th and 13th century, he actually, the first of all, he composed a prophetic saying. In Arabic, saying is call. So the person who presented the call, he is Qawwal, and the content itself is Qawwali.
Yes.
So that composition, that prophet saying, actually is a tradition among the Qawwali singers. Generally, in the Sufi setups, they start by a singing call, Man kuntu Mawla, Fa'aliyun hada, Allah. That they started to. That Qawwali, the words came from the prophetic saying, which was composed more than 700 years before. And the Qawwali singers still sing the same composition in the same style, which was originally composed by Amir Khusro.
So maybe we can first give a little bit an idea about the different songs we have listened today.
Yes.
So maybe you can say something for the, first.
Yes.
Allahu, which is one of the most famous.
Yes, actually, is a very tradition among the Qawwali singer. They generally start their program either from the call or with the hamd. Hamd is a poem in praise of God or Allah. So he started by singing the content was about the greatness of omnipresent Allah. That was Hamd Allahu, which he started. Yes. The second number which he sang, it was also a tradition. After the God, you pay homage to the Prophet Muhammad. So the second was Naat in Arabic.
So the first was Allahu and the second to Muhammad.
Muhammad, that was. And the third one was a Manqabat. Manqabat is a poem in praise of the Sufi saints. Here this Manqabat was in the praise of Ali, the third caliph, the son-in-law of Prophet. And among the Sufis saints, it is considered that he was the leader of all the saints. So that was three numbers which he presented in the opening.
Yes.
So the fourth was a mystic Sufi poem from the 17th century poet Bulle Shah, whose shrine is very in the next city in the Lahore, is a Kasur, where it's located. So that was in Punjabi, the vernacular language of Punjab.
So, and the other three ones were in which language?
The first one is in Urdu.
Yes.
Urdu.
Urdu?
The fourth, yes, Urdu, which is the national language of subcontinent, ours in Pakistan, and also spoken in the India also.
Yeah.
So that was, the fourth one was in Punjabi, which is vernacular language of Punjab, both Indian and Pakistani, both the Punjab. There was our Indian Punjabi friends were also there to appreciate this thing. That was. Yeah. So I think he performed that on the request of someone. So that was the poem, mystic poem of Bulle Shah. The fourth one is a very famous Mast Kalandar. It was to pay homage to a Sufi saint of Sindh of 14th century, Shahbaz Kalandar. That was. The five he presented, but when he came after the encore, that was a love song. So the beloved who is actually looking forward, the lover who is far away and asking him to come back.
The never-ending story of love we have in all cultures.
And it depends on the audience. Actually, this is you can see as a temporal love or the spiritual love, both. Yes.
Yes, and you mentioned already the saints, and the saints are so important in this Qawwali world. And we know the saints; they have special places. These special places are the shrines.
Yes,
and
actually, among the even the Punjab.
Let me just give it because shrines maybe are not so known here in Europe. And we have a quite famous writer here in Germany. He is originally from Persia, called Navid Kermani. And he traveled a lot to Pakistan to explore Pakistani Qawwali. And then he said, the role of a shrine in Pakistan you can compare with the Catholic Church in Latin America, where the belief is not only nurtured by one religion, but of the pagan traditions far before Catholicism came to Latin America. And for example, in Pakistan, far before Islam came to Pakistan. So we have in Qawwali, we have this mixture of of pagan knowledge getting into this tradition and being popularized. So it's really something which makes a people, which goes deep in the heart of the normal people everywhere in the country.
Actually, in our area, the subcontinent, spiritualism was there before even Islam there, in the shape of the Buddhism. So, and when Islam came, they actually amalgamated with each other, both the things. And this Amir Khusro who invented Qawwali, he got inspiration from the movement which already the spiritual movement was there. He got all the inspiration from that, seeing that there is the Buddhistic, they have their own monasteries they were there. So he got inspiration from that. Therefore, this melodic expression of Islam is in subcontinent, not in the Arab, because that is. The Arab have their own spiritualism. In Turkish, you have one room is there. Yeah. So and the shrine is a very important place among our social setup in there. Because even shrine is not necessarily the graves of by a saint.
So each shrine is the grave of a saint?
There are graves at the shrines of the grave, but not entirely. There is a living saint may be there. So at the saint, people come to just for getting their blessings, and presently in the shrines, the free food is available for the people, the visitors.
So it's a very important meeting place for the people.
And yes, and from the shrine, the funds from the shrine, they contribute for the betterment of the society also.
And
that part of the thing which langar is the Islam and the Sikhism both share with each other. At the Gurdwara, you can find this free food langar there. So that is the same at the shrine there. That is the part of the common spiritualism.
I think one aspect you already mentioned is that this openness towards, for example, Buddhism elements or other cultures, this is a very fundamental aspect of Qawwali, to be a kind of tolerant expression, curious for the dialogue with other cultures.
Yes.
And we have seen here today Faiz Ali Faiz, who is one of the greatest voices of Qawwali nowadays, and he did a lot of collaborations with other artists.
Yes, Faiz, especially in Europe, Faiz, he also has the project with the flamenco groups. He has a set of CD they released here, it was recorded here, and also with the gospel singers of the America. He has project and has many good numbers produced with them.
So this kind of collaborations, in fact, go back to the very old tradition that the dialogue with foreigners was always very appreciated.
Actually, this in the Qawwali singing, this was innovation of Nusrat Ali Khan, the late. He started these things.
I was hoping that you give me the word because Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan is the key name of Qawwali in the 20th century. And so we speak about the time before Nusrat and after Nusrat. Maybe you can give us some words about this.
Before Nusrat there was Qawwali. Father of Nusrat was Qawwali artist, and his grandfather was the Qawwali artist. But the Nusrat has one contribution. He brought Qawwali from the shrine to the concert hall. That was his big contribution.
Yeah, and he was more or less first...
And making the Qawwali more temporal also, from the spiritual. That.
So he was the first one who carried the Qawwali into the international spot.
Yes, and he also collaborated with the international artists. Peter Gabriel and other artists. So this Faiz Ali actually got inspiration from the singing of the Nusrat Ali Khan, that is.
So this is mainly the period before and after Nusrat, but the kind of music and the way of performing, has it changed?
The contents are the same.
Okay.
The contents are the same, even when they collaborated with the flamenco group or with the gospel singers, the contents remain the same, but they just collaborated musically with each other.
Yeah, and what we have heard today is really the old repertory going back, because we know Faiz Ali Faiz is the 7th generation already, so it is a long oral tradition in his family, and we were very, very pleased that we had already the 8th generation today on stage. We had his both sons, the elder son on the harmonium and vocals, and the younger son on the right hand, if you're looking, he was another vocalist. So this is already the 8th generation.
That is actually the great continuity among the Qawwali artists. Always their generation, next generation, take the art from their fathers or the elders one. So that is the happen with the Faiz Ali. Faiz Ali used to say when the son was not here, that I am the 7th generation. So now he can say that I have all the 8th generation with him. That is. As Faiz Ali got this art from his father and the grandfather, even he is using these harmonium. These both harmoniums are more than 100 years old. Because his grandfather used to use that harmonium. The box they changed, but the keyboard inside. And
maybe explain us a little bit about the harmonium. Maybe not everybody knows this. The harmonium is the box you see from front. It has a keyboard
and the bellow with which they pump
manually. They pump the air. And where is this instrument coming from? Actually, and tell us a little bit about the story of this instrument.
Actually, this harmonium, not this one, but the basic harmonium which used to be used by the paddles.
It's a European harmonium.
Portuguese brought to the subcontinent in the 15th, 16th century through the church. It was used through church.
But it was a big one and heavy, and they brought it by ship. So.
But later, some French musician, as I learned somewhere, he actually manufactured the manual one, the smaller one to use. So, but still, there's one also German connection here. The keyboard is the German inside.
And I heard that you still the German keyboard inside is recognized as the best quality until today in Pakistan.
Actually, in Pakistan, even in India, people still prefer the keyboard of German keyboard. They think it's better.
And we heard we had this wonderful. Yes, definitely. So we have the Indian harmonium, and then we had the tablas.
The pair of tablas, one is the treble, the other the bass. So it's our traditional and basic instrument of rhythm in Pakistan and India both, for the semi-classical, classical, even and light classical, that we use it. So and then it's just the body, the voice, and the hand clapping. Hand clapping is actually the basic rhythmic thing among this Qawwali, that is. So normally in Pakistan, when they sit for the mahfil or for the singing, there are more than 7 or 5 people among the chorus. Here, because international travel is quite costly, so we just shortened the group. That was the reason.
But I think the musicians had some support from the audience.
Yes,
there were hand clapping,
yes.
And it's always very much welcomed to get this response from the audience towards the musicians. It's not disturbing.
That's actually the fine thing in the Qawwali singing, and very essential, the response which the artists get through from the audience. Therefore, during their singing, here, because generally the audience they were just following the music. In our area, because our audience also follow the contents. So when the connection between the communication between the artist and the audience is very necessary. And artist, when he notices the reflection responses of the audience, he repeats the same content time and again, or the same musical notes, just to make it more take it the dynamics and to take it on the climax. That is the style of Qawwali.
Very, very nice.
And I just want to admit one thing also, what the poems he's singing here, there was some traditional composition, but the final one too was the composition of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. He sang as a homage to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. The Mast Kalandar and Akhyan Digniya, that was the composition of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, which he normally sing to pay homage to the great singer.
Great. Maybe we can see if there is a special question in the audience. I hope, please feel.
I was wondering how much is already stipulated and how much of improvisation there is.
How much these songs are.
And how much improvisation?
Yes.
Among especially singing in the Qawwali, the artist, the style which he has, it's half is improvisation, half is the already predetermined. That is, but both of depend with the companions, especially the rhythmic person, the person on the rhythm, and between his communication and the Faiz Ali composition to create improvisation between the singing. That is. But that come out of practice actually, because they practice, even if they're not on the stage, they practice in the room always, or even during the travel, in the bus especially.
Yes, and they're traveling a lot. I heard that when they return back tomorrow to Pakistan, they will do some 7-8 concerts in a row in Pakistan. So they are really practicing every day in their own country.
Actually, these days, as I was telling you, that the Sufi singing, Qawwali or Sufi singing, it's becoming a la mode now, very fashionable. Even our pop singers, they have started singing Sufi content, Sufi poetry, and our media started giving them the name Sufi rock. But they, I think this is my opinion, that out of this extremism and intolerance and so much this fundamentalism, people are thinking that better if we go to the basic Sufism or that Sufi expression of Islam. That is, I think, the reason. So therefore, it is becoming very fashionable. Everybody is singing Sufi poetry.
So we have really hoped that through this music, a little contribution to peace is done, and Pakistan deserves to have peaceful times.
Yes, because as we noticed there that when there was extremism, bomb explosion were going on, but Qawwali festival were still going on among those period also, because the holiest and the very famous shrine of Data Ganj Bakhsh, 11th century Sufi point, who came from Afghanistan, from Ghazni, and settled in Lahore, buried there. So annual his Urs, the death anniversary, is regularly being celebrated during each year there. And the same is with other shrines, Baba Farid shrines and Pak Batan. So, and other shrines. So it remained continued. It never stopped.
So this is nice to know, and I think we will stop here if there is no urgent question anymore. It is very nice to know that this music has a future in your country, and hopefully here in Europe we have the chance to listen from time to time.
Yes, we hope
this
also.
Wonderful music. Thank you very much, Yasser, Nomann,
It's a pleasure.
for telling us about the stories behind, and thank you very much for you that you stayed here for this little background talk. Thank you very much. And
thank you very much. Thank you.